Hello everyone, weekly wrap up. So let's talk about reviews. In terms of books, this past week I did finish two books and I'm currently reading two others. So before that, let me just show you a couple of books I got this week. A couple of Broken Binding and another one, which is not Broken Binding. The first one is Spider Light by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This was my first book I ever read from him, and I really enjoyed. I gave it a 19 something back a couple of years ago, and I really enjoyed it. It's a fantasy novel, a bit different than usually the it's very interesting read and quite different, the way he portrays the goods and the bad and so on. I highly advise you to read it to know what I'm talking. I can't really speak much without spoiling, and after spoiling, this book doesn't have the same vibe, you know. The second book I received was The Witcher, Crossroads of Ravens. This one is by Andrzej Sapkowski, something like that. Sorry for butchery. So this is the Witcher novel, the last Witcher novel that was released, just by Broken Binding. This was the first book in the new series they are doing, and to be fair, I'm quite surprised. The only thing I don't enjoy is that it doesn't have any interior illustrations, but it is what it is. So it has like this board, very cool board with some engraved stuff. There is also the spines. Also, for them, they made a couple of artwork. A couple of artwork, as you can see there. Looks like it's the game Witcher, you know. So this is from what I could gather, this is a prequel to the novel, to the first novel, the first novel that he published, and this is a prequel. So basically, is how did Geralt, became what we call it Geralt today. So with his names, with his I don't know how to say, but his cognates, I don't know. In Portuguese, it's cognome, but I mean he is the White Wolf of the Butcher of Blavinken, and how he got that name. Okay, let's talk about that. It seems like pretty cool. I have not read a Witcher novel for some years now, but again, it is what it is. Then I got this book which interests me a lot to read right away, which is the Autumn Springs Retirement Home Massacre by Philip Fracassi. Sorry for the glare, but it has like a protective cover, and it's very interesting. This book, it's very different from what he wrote before, and it's like the ones that they've been publishing in the last few years. The Final Girl, you know, the slasher, but focus in the other way. So a lot of people enjoyed the book. Let's see if I enjoy as well. And last, I got the Aliens Omnibus Edition, 3 books in one. Earth Hive, Nightmare Asylum, and The Female War. I bought this because I really enjoy horror and sci-fi mix. I really enjoy alien stuff. So I got this because I've heard they are pretty good to be. They are connected to the alien universe, but they are not movies or adaptations or something like that. But they are books. There are 7 books. I got this one for now, and I'm going to get the other ones next month when I get some money to spend. In terms of what I've read, well, I read 3 books. Well, one I already talked last week, so I read 2 books this week, and I'm reading couple of others now. The first one I read was Sex Slaves of the Dragon Tong by F. Paul Wilson. F. Paul Wilson is most one of the most famous writers in thrillers and or some are, yes, but thrillers mostly. He has Repairman Jack, he has the Adversary Cycle. There are a lot of books. He wrote 70 or so novels, and this is a collection of short novels, short stories, novelettes, you can call it like that, because some are pretty big, like 50 pages. So, and in the end, this was a try that he did for an anthology that was writing pulp fiction. Pulp fiction, when I mean pulp fiction, not the movie, but the writings of those detectives, hard-boiled kind of stories that existed back in the late 30s or 40s. And there were evil people, masterminds. Those were the times that were created masterminds. One of my first more famous is Zach Romer, Fu Manchu, and this one he wanted to. He says here that he wanted to do something similar, so he tried to create his own mastermind, which in this case is this guy here, which is called the Mandarin. And these two stories set in San Francisco amid the ongoing struggle that exists there after the earthquake, and the Chinese that had come in the years prior due to escaping their country. And I know that there were a lot of Chinese people there in the West, so, and they built like the railways, and they also did some poorly bad things, so there were like triads of drugs, mostly opium and so on. So he wanted to capture that feeling, and he wrote about this mastermind, which is called the Mandarin. And it's three tales depicting interconnected stories. So the first story is about an investigator, a detective, if you will, that is trying to uncover who kidnapped a pretty white rich girl, and he's trying to investigate. There is investigation in terms of going from place to place. There is hints that there are this mastermind behind everything. There is, he talks with the other detectives and so on. So this first part of the story is like this, is the biggest one, and then the second story follows another detective linked to the first one, and he was investigating with this Mandarin, and he got bit by some kind of insect that almost killed him. And this because he was getting too near the Mandarin. Basically wanted a part of the profits that this Mandarin get from all the illegal games, booze and so on, and he wanted part of that money. And the Mandarin talked, okay, you want the money, you're going to be a play, and he got beat by that insect, and that insect start killing him. And instead of getting money from the Mandarin make money out of him. Basically, they were betting if he was going to survive or not. It's a very cool story, nothing major here. And the third story is also connected with the first, and more, less to the second one, but it also deals with this Mandarin fellow, and it's an investigation about who is this Mandarin, and it's all of these stories are very cool. I mean, they are very short. The font is very big, so you can read this in one day. I read this in like 2 hours. So if I read this in 2 hours, your native people from with English, you can read it in less that time. It's pretty good. I really enjoyed. I mean, F. Paul Wilson now is the second novel I read from him, and both are top. and I guess he really can write something up. I mean, it's 100 pages, and he really developed story and mastermind and detectives. It's pretty cool. I really enjoyed. Was very glad from this. This was after reading All Dark Horses by Taylor James, and I wanted to get a bit far from horror because I was at the time, well, I'm still am reading October Screams, but I wanted something different, so I read this one in one day, like in the Saturday. And now, this last week, I did finish this book here, which is called Horrorween. This is the first book in the Orange Field series by Al Sarrantonio. Basically, this is a trilogy of books. I'm going to read the three like this October, and the first one finished, and it's I did enjoy the stories. I did feel that this was trying to make short stories interconnected. So basically, he wrote several short stories within this city, this place, and I guess that he wanted to write a full-length novel, and so he connected these stories and made like a novel. But you can feel it that this was not written all in one go. If there were probably years between the stories, and you can feel that there are differences the um, between the stories. I mean, the quality of the stories. Overall, it's pretty good. So basically, there is this place which has a lot of to do with Halloween, and they this book is set prior to Halloween and then Halloween again, and the story basically is about this town and the people that live there. So there is this god, I guess you can call it like that, which is Samhain. Samhain is a pagan festival for the Celtic that deal with the 31 of October to the 1 of November. So it was believed back then that there was like the gateway of the death to the living. So basically, for them, this was the last day of the year, and 1 of November was, well, the first day of the year for them, and it was the day that was a day like was a bridge between death and life, and so these people believe that these monsters, their relatives and so on, they could get through those gateways. That's why there was these masks that they would wear, so they could not escape, but so the monsters couldn't understand, okay, these people are human, something like that. And so this transformed into Halloween and to the day of the death in Christianity, or whatever you want to call it. But yes, this was, everything is related to Celtic holiday called Samhain. In this book, this Samhain is like a god, and this god is talking with people and doing things they are not expecting. Or yeah. And so the first tale is like a tale about a writer that is in a drought of writing, and he and his wife are getting some problems, and then after a while she disappears and he starts writing. So you can see there's a connection there, but you don't know what it is. Then appears the detective, appears the editor, and so on. There is plenty of story behind. It ends, well, as you expect in our novel, not that great, not that good. The second tale follows the first one, but in this story there was this kidnapped girl that and there is an investigator with a past, with a very dark past, and he wants to save the girl, and is willing to do several things. The detective from the first tale is also here. Then there is the third, the fourth, and fifth. There are several tales, and each tale deals with this struggle between good and evil, between this kind of God that is making people do bad things. Like they make a person that is on mental medicaments, drugs, mental drugs, and he makes them kill a couple of people. Yeah, everything here is pretty standard, or I enjoy it. It's not the best book of the year, but it's solid. Okay, I read this in 3 days, so it must be good. Okay, now what I'm going to read for this next week. Well, I did start um, All Hallows, All Hallows by Christopher Golden. I already read like a third. I'm page 85 out of 400, and I'm reading the short story collection, which I hope to finish next week, and probably going to start this one, which is Mark Morris, the story Stitch. I did start it a couple of days ago to read, and it's a more slow-paced novel compared with, for example, Horrorween. So my goal is to read these two at this stage, and then afterwards probably either the second novel of this, or who knows, maybe other books that I have here to read. Well, here. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books to read so far this month. We're on the 10th of October. There were 11 books. I already finished 3, so yeah, it's good. Not always I'm in the best mood to read. I've been sick, a bit of sick this last couple of weeks, so that's why I'm not reading as much as I hoped. But who knows? I'm very confident. Okay, let's be honest. So yeah, thank you and have a great day.